Hey y'all, and good morning. Well, today we are going to be working in our cottage garden and we're going to be doing some fall cleanup. So last year at this time, we didn't even have a fall garden. So we're going to be breaking this up into 3 easy steps so we don't get overwhelmed and we can pace ourselves and we can keep enjoying gardening. So there's just a few supplies that we're going to need for this. So let's head over to the garage and go pick those up. The lighting is so weird right now. So we have a big shadow on the house where the sun is coming up. And right now you can see the sun is right in my face. So this may make for a very interesting video. I actually like to film in the backyard, like when the sun's going down, because I think that's really pretty. But right now the sun is coming up and it is super bright, which I absolutely love. But let's head over to the garage and get our supplies. I think I'm going to go ahead and take our wagon because I'm going to have a good bit of debris. So I'm going to grab that. I'm not going to use the lawnmower. I'll just pull it by hand. Okay, so we got our wagon. Now I just need to get my little kneeling pad. Look at how pretty these are. And we're going to get our Velcros. And we'll go from there. So I just need my kneeling pad, and then I've got my gloves and my little shovel and my Velcros. And I did pick up a little pair of snips out of the garage. So that's all we need for this project. Okay, so the first step for our fall garden cleanup is we're going to weed. Now, I know this is about as fun as planting bulbs, but it's very necessary because these roots, even in the winter, are still growing. And then by the springtime, you've got a mess on your hands. So if you can keep your weeds at bay, even in the wintertime, you're going to be so much happier for it in the springtime. So let's get started and tackle those weeds. So we are very lucky not to have a lot of weeds because this is a brand new flower bed. And as you can remember, we put down cardboard, then we put down our topsoil and our compost, and then added our mulch. So with that thick mulch layer, it's actually suppressed a lot of the weeds. But over here, where we have this runoff from the concrete here, this area right here, pretty much all of the mulch got washed away. So this is our area that mostly that we have to deal with the weeds in this little section. So in this flower bed here, we actually have a lot of impatiens that have seeded themselves. I'm not sure if they'll last through the winter, but I'm going to try to leave them and see what they do. We also have lots of little foxgloves that have seeded themselves also. So I'm kind of going around and leaving the impatiens, which are right here, and the little foxglove. There's a big foxglove right there. And then we'll just see what they do for next year. I've got to tell you guys, really, the mulching is like where it's at on the weeds because it was so simple. There are hardly any weeds in here. So the next thing we're going to be doing, ooh, we have a yellow jacket on us. Sorry. So the next thing we're going to be doing is doing our number 2, which is cutting back. So I am going to be doing in my garden, I'm going to be cutting back the hostas, which I think are really important because they tend to harbor over slugs and snails, which are not good. And then I'm also going to cut back my hydrangea blooms. So I have little lime punch hydrangeas, And these are a panicle type hydrangea, so that means they bloom on new wood. So I can cut those blooms back because I just really don't like the look of them. And we don't really get snow here. A lot of people keep them for winter interest, but because we don't get snow, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes we'll get a light little dusting, but it's usually gone pretty quickly. And if we get anything that's kind of sticks around, it actually turns into ice and it usually causes things to break. So we're going to get those clipped back, and then I'm also going to clip back our autumn joy sedum because they really, really need it. Let me show you guys. Okay, so these are the hostas that I was talking about. And as you can see, they're already starting to succumb to the cold weather, and they just get really squishy and mushy, which is a great place for snails and slugs to harbor over in the winter. So we're going to cut those back, and those will come back all beautiful and new next year. And then we're also going to cut back our autumn joy sedum because we're starting to get some powdery mildew in there, and some also, I don't know, some other things that are kind of growing at the base of it. So I'm going to get these cut back as well. And like I said, we don't really get that much snow, and if we will, it doesn't last that long. So, you know, winter interest here, we get to see everything because it doesn't get covered up with snow. So we just want things to look pretty and be clean and healthy. And then I'm also just going to trim back my little lime punch hydrangeas. And as you can see, we don't get the pretty punch color because we just stay too hot. And so they just turn this ugly brown. And so I'm going to get those clipped back. And that will just make me feel good about my garden this fall. In this flower bed, if y'all remember, we already went ahead and cut back our hostas when we were putting in some of our corbels. And so this bed is already done and the hostas have already been trimmed back. So this is an autumn joy sedum, and I wanted to cut off this branch just to show you guys. There's some kind of white stuff growing right here, and I'm not sure what it is, but I don't want to keep this in the garden because that does not look healthy to me. But I'm going to go ahead and just cut them all the way back. Now this is a perennial, so it will come back next year and it will be absolutely beautiful. So next year will be our 3rd year. The first year we really struggled because these autumn joy sedum got chlorosis. And normally you do not have to do anything to your sedums, no fertilizer. But ours we had to treat with iron tone. And I went ahead and did it preventatively this year. And I think it helped tremendously with their growth. The little sticks here, these are last year's. Just get these cut back all the way to the ground. And each year they just come back bigger and better. And they're a really low maintenance plant. And in your area, it may be fine and you may not have to treat it with iron tone for chlorosis, but the chlorosis will make the leaves turn a bright yellow, and then you'll be able to see the green veining. Just kind of get this cleaned up a little bit. And there we go. Autumn joy sedum is done and ready for winter. We have one little hosta over here. Some of its leaves have already started to fade back as well. They get really squishy. And just as simple as that, and it is ready for winter. So our lamb's ear will be fine this winter. These are the ones that we just transplanted, and they are doing really good. We do have one little leaf over here that I may tidy up, but that's super simple to do. But let's go over here to this little lime punch hydrangea, and we'll get it all trimmed up. This is our little lime punch hydrangea, and as you can see, the blossoms look more like an ice cream cone. So that's one way that will let you know that it's a panicle type hydrangea, which means it blooms on new wood. I am just doing a rough cut where I'm just kind of cutting off the blossoms. And then in the spring, we'll come back and we'll do the 3D. So we'll look for anything dead, damaged, or diseased. But this is just kind of giving them a little tidy cleanup for winter. So nothing really special about the way I'm cutting them right now. But in the spring, we'll come back and do a video and we'll talk about how to properly prune these so we can get some more big, beautiful blooms next year. I'll just have one more. Okay, and the leaves have pretty much fallen off of these. So that little line punch is done. Okay, so we got all of our weeds up in our cottage garden. Then we got our autumn joycetum cut back. We had 2 of those. Got our hostas cut back. And then we have our little line punch hydrangea. It's all cut back. And everything is looking nice and tidy right now. So the tall guy arborvitaes are doing great. They don't need any help for us through the winter. Our begonia will probably die back, but right now it's doing beautiful. And then we have all of these little volunteer zinnias everywhere, and we'll just kind of let them do as they wish as we go along. So everything is looking good. And then all we have to do now is to get our little line punches cut through here and our autumn joycetum. But it's going really quickly, guys. Okay, so we got all of our autumn joycetum cut back. We got our little line punch hydrangeas. We got those blossoms off of them, and everything is looking nice and tidy. You can see this is what the pink muley grass looks like in the fall. It has a pretty, just like straw color. It's so pretty when the wind starts blowing. So we'll tackle that in the spring. But everything is just looking so neat and tidy right now. Of course, we'll just leave our roses. They're doing great, and let them go into winter. And I also want to show you guys too, these are my foxgloves that just came up from seed. And I took them out of the ground and put them into our little planters here, and they are doing great. So everything is looking good. So the last step that we have to do is, what do you think? What do you guys think? It's mulching. So we're going to put some mulch on some of these little bare spots that we have in here and get everything tucked in for the winter. I've got some mulch stashed away over here. So I'm going to grab a bag of this and we'll go over and do those little bare spots. So many of you guys already know that I was a dental hygienist for over 21 years. And one of the things that it taught me, along with a lot of things, is also this to be efficient with your time. And so because you're on this tight schedule of patient every hour or every 30 minutes, and then also you have to have all the different things that you have in your life, as far as like, we have 4 children and lots of other things that went along with that. So I kind of incorporated that into gardening as well, is being efficient with your time. So just like this mulch, I overbought. So when I had to have days like this where I needed to fill in, I would have extra mulch. Or if we're just running into Lowe's to get something really quick, I'll go ahead and pick up some compost or some potting soil. So I just kind of always have those things when they're needed, so I don't have to stop, run to the store, and go and get them, because by the time I've already done that, I've already lost my mojo, or I may not have a lot of time to do it. And then I also like to do things, schedule things out, and not do so many things at once. So, like today, we're working on doing our fall cleanup, and we're doing 3 easy steps. We could easily sit here all day and nitpick at everything that we think needs to be nitpicked at, but we're going to do the most important things, and those other things will come when we have time. But this will make everything nice and fresh and tidy and get everything ready for the winter. So we just kind of have to think in those systems. You know, we're not just gardeners, but we're moms and dads and sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles. Lots of different roles that we play, and we're also gardeners. So we need to keep our life balanced, and that keeps everything healthy. Okay, so that looks great. So this is our new apricot drift rose. And so I'm going to put a little mulch around here. This is some of the area where the mulch wants to wash out. Okay, guys, so we're all finished, so let's go take a little walk through the cottage garden. So starting off here in the beginning, got all the weeds out and it's remulched and it looks nice and pretty. And then over here where our new apricot rose is, we got that all mulched and a couple of little spots here in the pathway. Then we got cut back our autumn joy sedum and our hostas. I'm actually leaving this little patch of hostas right there because I want to transplant those. So I don't want to cut those back quite yet. I should have let you guys know that in the beginning. And then over here, we got our little lime puncheon. It's all cut back and ready for the winter time. And then as we go through here, our roses are still looking beautiful. Vermillionaire, Rebecca, and then our little free zinnias that just came up from seed are looking great. Another little apricot drift rose, free little zinnia there. And then looking from this side, all of our little lime punches are all cleaned up, and the autumn joy sedum is all cut back, and everything is looking nice and tidy. All ready for the winter. While we are over here, let me give you a little update report on our transplanted blushing bride hydrangeas. They're doing really well. This one needs some water, as you can tell. It's been really dry here the past week, but the other ones are doing really, really good. And as you guys know, this bed is a work in progress. So don't take this for what it looks like right now, but next year it's going to be beautiful. We have to get the rocks pulled out and the landscape fabric, just like we did in the cottage garden, but it just takes a lot of work, and we just have very little pockets of time, but we're doing a little bit as we go. So they are doing really, really good. Okay, guys, so we are all finished. Thank you so much for gardening with me today. I had so much fun with you out here in the garden, just taking it easy and doing those 3 little steps, it just makes my heart feel so good when I come out here just kind of knowing that these plants are going to be ready for the winter. And I hope this gives you some inspiration to try not to get overwhelmed, because sometimes this time of year with Thanksgiving and Christmas and getting the garden to bed, it's a lot. But if we just take those steps step by step and just break it into little bits during the day, then it doesn't seem so overwhelming. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you have a chance to get in your gardens today. Bye, friends.